Okay, let's continue just doing a little bit more work here, and then we'll do the feet. So I've got the beige here in the Pablo range. Just going to add a bit more depth in the feathers here and there. Don't want to do too much. So I'm using quite light pressure. I don't want to put too much colour down. Right, so we need to make this darker down the side here. Let's go with the, let's have a look. Got the burnt ochre 10% in the Luminance range, that's what we've been using. So let's bring that around here a bit more. Okay, and then we've got another one here. Let's go with the walnut brown next. We've got another little feather here. So I'm not copying the photo exactly, but I'm certainly using it as a guide. Let's go with a little bit more orange, burnt ochre, a bit more colour in here. Oh, just got the walnut brown here. I'm just going to bring that down to the bottom here to his feet. Just clean that up a little bit there. Okay. I'm going to use a different colour actually. I've not used this one on here yet. This is the burnt sienna. I think it will go well down here. Okay, so we've got another one here. So I'm just sort of mapping out feathers at the moment. I'm not worrying about detail so much, because I'll put a lot of those in with the mono rubber. And while I've got the burnt sienna, I'm going to add a little bit in the middle here. Okay, let's go back to the sepia 10. If I can find him. So I've got the sepia 10%, and I just want to add a bit more depth here. Okay, and let's just add a bit more up here, the sepia. Okay, and then let's get the rubber and start adding some details here. So we've got this feather here sweeping across. Let's give that a bit of a clean. And then we've got these two here. Okay, let's go back to the warm grey one, just so it's not just a blank drafting film, so we need to just put a bit of something in. Okay, now we do need to darken that side part of the wing, so I'm going to go with dark sepia. And I'm just going to bring that down here. And I don't want to darken all of it, just parts of it. I go back to the walnut brown. And let's go to the burnt ochre, 10%. I'm just going to go over that and soften that up. Lots of pencil dust. Okay, and I think that'll be it for that. I don't want to overdo it and mess it up. So let's come over to this side. So while I've got this, I'm just going to put a bit more in. I'll take that into that white bit as well, actually. Okay, and then in here. Okay, back to the sepia 10. I lost it already. There you are. Put a bit more of this down here. Okay, let's get the mono rubber. Where are you? Oh, I've lost the rubber now. I've got all these things next to me, and you can't see you can't find them. Okay, right, just giving that a clean again. Let's get these feathers in down here. Okay. I'm gonna get the dark sepia now, and let's just darken. That's walnut brown. That's not dark sepia. We've got the dark sepia here. So as I keep saying, I'm not going into masses of detail in this piece. I'm just enjoying it, and I think it's going okay, to be fair. Oh, I want the burnt sienna, actually. I think that'd be a good idea. Just put a bit of that down this side. I've got a little dog snoring under the table, so that's the noise that you might hear. Okay. Just go back with a warm grey one. I'm just going to fill in these blank bits down here. And I think that's going to be it really for that. I just need to get on with the feet now, and I think we're pretty much there with that one. So moving on to the feet then, I'm going to use the colours that I've used with the other ones. It seems to be working well, so I'm going to go with the cream, back with the Polychromes, and I'm just going to cover all the foot area with the cream. I'm not going to worry about the white claws until the end, because I've got this bit to do, so I can just put them in at the end once I've done the wall that they're standing on. Gosh, she's snoring her little head off down there. I don't know if you can hear her. Okay, so that's that. I've got the dark cardamom yellow here. Yeah, dark cardamom yellow. So I'm going to start defining the feet a bit more. So they're quite yellow, these feet. Could do with sharpening that really. The only thing is my sharpener's very loud, and I don't really want to wake Fendi up. She's having a good old sleep, and I think it'd be cruel to wake her up. Okay, moving on to this one. Okay, so let's go with the burnt sienna now. So we've got quite a few different colours going on with these feet. I'm just doing individual lines to represent the webbing part. I'm being quite loose, I'm not going mad with I'm not doing individual detail lines. And this one's got quite chunky feet. Okay, before I go on any further, I'm going to get the walnut brown, and I just need to darken up the top here. Okay, and just bring a bit of that down into the foot as well. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So I've got the burnt sienna again. And it's just getting the angle of these front parts. So I'm going to do the claws after. Okay, I think that looks okay. Let's do a little bit of webbing. Let's go back to the walnut brown. I'm just going to darken it further where needed. I'm not going to go too mad. Okay, let's get a bit of highlights in with the mono rubber. I think this rubber's getting a bit short. I might have to put a new one soon. Okay, let's put some highlights in. So that's literally all I've done, is just done a few little marks at the front of their feet. and that's all I'll do for the claws as well later. So that is pretty much it. I think that's that one finished. What I might do actually is carry on with this wall, and what I've used my Pablo's, and I've gone back to the beige, and so yeah, we'll just continue with this wall. I think it's a wall they're standing on, I'm not sure. You could even do them on grass or whatever you fancy, really. I'll just get this in, and then I can complete the feet, and then we can move on to the last chicken. It probably would have been better to use Luminance with this bit, just because they're a bigger pencil, but I used the Pablo's because they were the colours that I wanted for this, but they just take a bit longer because they are quite a small barrel. I've got a sharp bit on the pencil and it's scratching. Okay, now I went with the Cocoa, another Pablo. Okay, and I'm just going to leave a bit of a gap along here because it's lighter. I think the light's hitting the, I think it's a wall that they're standing on, some sort of concrete ledge. It does take a bit of time, this bit, as I say, with the Pablos. But this is when you have your music on, or your film on Netflix, whatever, and just chill during this. It's quite relaxing. So I'm just going to go over this white bit here, because I think I've the line's gone a bit skew with, so we'll correct that in a minute. I think what I've done, I've lifted it all up to fit in the frame here, and that's my excuse anyway, but it's alright, we can correct it. Let me just bring it down a bit further. Okay, so I'm going to darken up the back part here. I've got the dark sepia. And this is why I left the claws until later, because it would have just been quite difficult to work around them. Let's just clean that line off there. So before I go any further, I'm going to establish where that end of that wall is. So I've got the kneadable rubber here. Let's see if, so I can just take a bit of colour out. Yeah, that seems to be working. Oh, just so we've got a guide. Okay, I think that's all right. So just going back in with the dark sepia. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the beige. And I'm just using this to blend the sepia a bit in with the other colours, just to soften it up. Okay, right, let's get these little claws in. Get a clean rubber and get these little claws. And it's a lot easier to do it that way rather than trying to work around them. And that's literally all it is. I'm just going to get the, let's have a look, the cocoa, and I'm just going to just lightly outline the front ones a bit. And then I'll get the warm grey one, and we just go over the claw. And I think that's pretty much it for that one. I might tidy up around here a bit more, but I think that's looking pretty good.